Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Happy Friday, episode 1061. Good morning. It's a free for all Friday. We're going to play Name That Player, although with a twist today. We start from scratch. So, I was going through some stuff that I found in the Goodwill palette. I'm like, let's have some fun. It's the last Friday before Christmas. We're going to have some fun with Name That Player. At the end of Name That Player, we'll take a tally to see if we actually want to count the scores for today. Okay. Now, once we get there, that's just the tease for today. So today, the scores, we're starting fresh. Max won our last round. Scotty Dubs, Uncle Rich won our practice round. Got to give him credit. Our first go around, I don't think we really did. We keep score. We might have kept score. I think we did keep score, but it was kind of like on the fly. And then when we started taking score, Scotty Dubs and Max won the latest round, first to 50. Name That Player. A little twist this morning. When we get to it in an hour, we'll go through it. So that's what we're gonna do today. By the way, my back is still sore, but it feels 1,000 times better today than what I was going through yesterday. After the show, I went upstairs, and my wife had a closing yesterday morning, so I'm like barely walking up the steps, and she's like, "What's going on? What, are you okay?" She's like, "What's going on?" Like, I can't walk. So I popped some ibuprofen. I always call it Profrin. Ibuprofen, and sat on the watched Jim Cramer and sat on the heating pad for a little while. I got up off the heating pad, and it's like, wow, I feel so much better. Had some breakfast, and I'm like, I'm going to do 10, 15 more minutes on the heating pad, and felt worse the second time around. I should have just cut it after the first. So I'm still walking like I've got a cob up my ass. I felt like when I went to the post office yesterday, I actually there were parking spots available, so I actually did go inside because I had a box to drop off. And I get out of my car, and I'm walking like, have you ever seen Wayne's World? And at the end of the movie, the character that Rob Lowe plays gets out of the car, and he's like, because he had the body cavity search. I felt like that. I don't know what a body cavity search feels like, thank God. But just in watching that scene from Wayne's World, that's kind of how I looked as I walked. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't go anywhere else. Hopefully because I've got Christmas shopping to do today, 3 days before Christmas. So hopefully I don't walk around like I've just had a body cavity search. I am feeling better. It didn't take me 5 minutes to get dressed this morning. I can like lean over, like I can actually, like yesterday, I tried to lean over, just the box isn't there. I took it away, but like this pile, like, look at this. It hurts, but I can do it. It hurts, but I can, like yesterday, I couldn't even, I had to like get out of my chair. So I needed to get those anyway. Sports Illustrated for Kids cards. Goodwill palette. I went through, I was just thinking about this yesterday because I'm always like, what the hell? Just get to the point, Bo. I'm annoyed by the Christmas movie schedule. It seems like it's the same damn Christmas movies everywhere. Like I know Home Alone and Christmas Vacation, my two favorite Christmas movies, but 47 times a season is enough. Like I need some variety, right? And it's like, I know there's been recent, because my wife and I were going to Christmas movies, like my Jewish wife, going to Christmas movies. Like we went to the theater to watch Office Christmas Party. We went to the theater to see The Night Before. We went to see Darnarius from Game of Thrones. She was in a movie last Christmas. She was in that movie. We went to the theater to see that. I think that was the last one. It's been a couple of years, but it's like, where were the Christmas movies from like 1995 to 2015? Like, did they make any Christmas movies between those years? Like, we only know what we're exposed to for the most part. What we read, what we watch, what we see, whatever. So I flipped on, because I was on the heating pad in the recliner upstairs. I'm like, I need to put something on the TV. I left my phone downstairs, and it's like I sit down, the heating pad, I'm like, oh, go to grab my phone. I left it down. It's like, well, I'm doing this next hour is phone free. So I turned the TV on, and that's when I was watching Kramer. I only like watching the 8 o'clock hour at 9 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock hour. 9 o'clock. I have it on in the background, but I'm not as listening as intently. Because Kramer's not on. I like Jim Kramer. That's why I watch it. So at 9 o'clock, I'm like, I'm just gonna basically, I'm only going to do this for like a half an hour. So I just want to basically search what's on. It's been a while since I've looked at Amazon Prime. What's what shows are on? And I'm like exposed to all of these Christmas movies that I didn't know existed, like from 1995 to 2015. It's like, holy crap. So I ended up last night I had one on as I was sorting through some boxes from the Goodwill pallet. The 12, what was it called? The 12 Dates of Christmas, which starred Zach Morris or Mark Paul Gosselaar and Amy Smart, who played in Varsity Blues. So it was a good movie. It was a good Christmas movie. I think it came out in like 2012 or 11 or 13, somewhere about 10 years ago. So, the Amazon Prime. Good spot for some Christmas movies that don't air on regular cable TV. Max is correcting me. Darnarius is a player on the Leathernecks basketball team. I don't think there's a Darnarius on the Leathernecks. Daenerys is from Game of Thrones. The blonde. I can't think of her name. I just know her from Game of Thrones. So I went through the Goodwill palette. Nothing big to report on. What was in there? Some junk wax. Was there another box of? I think there was another box of modern, but it was just a lot of quarter stuff. Thank you, Amelia Clark. Thank you. A lot of quarter box stuff, which I think that's one of the biggest benefits for me for these Goodwill palettes is I get some great quarter box. Like I'm putting together football and baseball back behind me. Like there's some good stuff. Like normally if I were just to acquire like a few boxes, those would go in my eBay store, but I have so much already. And so this is something maybe I'll do a video on. Famous last words, like the Tom Brady, like scaling up your business in Tom Brady. I still haven't done the Tom Brady video. Because people always ask, well, when you get a Goodwill pallet, how do you sort it? Like how do you do that process? And it kind of varies, but I kind of have not a routine, but I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. Although I got away from that, because here's the thing. Getting a Goodwill pallet is like having the Goodwill pallet like sitting in your car, because I don't bring it all down at once because I like to go through it. And then that way I like basically using my car as storage. I know where everything's in one spot. Now it's sorted. It goes in its proper place. Bring down the next batch. But it's kind of like holding sealed wax. You have the itch to rip. And so I sometimes get the itch to rip and I just bring down like, oh, it's time to go through some more stuff without actually sorting what I have already brought down, like to put it in its proper place. So I'm like going through, but I'm not sorting. So I'm ending up sorting twice, which is a no-no. Don't do that. It's a waste of time. I know that, but still it's like, ooh, I just want to see what's in the next box. So yesterday I got to the point where, okay, I've brought enough down. It's time to actually do some sorting so I don't just have 74 piles in my rec room waiting to be put in its proper box. So that's what I was working on last night, was putting together, creating new boxes, new quarter boxes that will be at the December 30th Madison Card Show. By the way, tables are sold out, and which also means I have to go to Fleet Farm and pick up my tables still. So we're on overflow at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. I've used up all of their tables, and now I'm bringing my own. So that's December 30th, a week from Saturday, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. We're up to 135 tables that we shoehorn in to 2 ballrooms and the mezzanine level at the Sheraton. Free admission 9 to 3. Early walk-ins are welcome because I will have my bargain boxes. Usually last month I had like 6 people at my bargain boxes at 7 a.m. And I loved it because I'll take your money before 9 a.m. I do kind of understand, like some dealers don't like that. And I understand because like when I go to other shows and I'm setting up and I have people wanting to look through boxes, it is kind of like, okay, let me get my bearings first. But that's also partially on me because I've got to get there early, right? And set up. But so I kind of get it from other people's perspectives. But in Madison, I love it because I'm set up at, basically I bring my stuff in the night before and then get everything set up at 5:30, 6 a.m. So it's ready to go at 7. So anyway, I was putting together those boxes and going through some new stuff. Nothing big to report. There is another 5-row box that I've pulled out 2 5-row boxes so far that have had some really good stuff in them, like some autos and good stuff like that. So there's one 5-row. There's a whole bunch of like team boxes. So it's baseball cards already sorted by team. But it's, nothing big is going to be in there. Maybe some quarter box stuff, but other than that, nothing much. Although there is a Cubs box that was pretty full. So I'll be bringing those down today. Oh, what else is going on? That's about it. Back's feeling better, which is good because I didn't really do much with the pallet because I barely could walk yesterday, so wasn't able to bring much down. So there we go. Max says there's definitely an etiquette to the early box diggers. As long as you ask, I don't care. But if you're going through stuff I am still trying to put out, get lost. I'll never say anything, but it's literally the most annoying thing ever. And I get that. Like, I feel bad when I want to go through Matt from 5 Star Cards, his boxes. It's like I just want to. Can you just bring out the new box and let me look through it, and then I'll leave you alone. Because I know there's other people like stalking. There's other bargain boxers that are stalking 5 Star Cards, waiting for his boxes. Let's go to the chat. It is a free-for-all Friday. What's going on this weekend? So, I saw a meme yesterday that it says, hey, guys, it's December 21st. You should start thinking about Christmas shopping. You don't have to go out and do it today, but just start thinking about it. And which is funny because I saw that a few hours after I asked my wife, so what do you want for Christmas? And she's like, she just laughed and she goes, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, I don't want anything. As I'm like, oh, my back. I'm like, oh, wait, a Shakti mat. Go to Amazon, get me a Shakti mat. So I'll be, basically it's just going to be like coffee. My wife loves coffee table books. My mom loves books to read. So pick some of that stuff up. Stocking stuffers. So we don't do big Christmas here as far as gifts go. Peter's in the house. What's going on, Peter? Happy Friday. Hope everyone has a great holiday season. You as well. Shane, good morning. Happy Friday. Terry's in the house. Good morning. Talking Tatis is here. What's happening? David, what's going on? Good morning. Victor, happy Friday. Shane says, I woke up to someone buying 20 2008 Topps Chrome Heritage refractors. Good start to a Friday. Damn, you are selling those Chrome Heritage like crazy. This morning I had an order of, it was about a 20 card order of like all Florida State Seminoles alumni. So that was nice. There was players that I never heard of. So here's what I do when I notice trends like this, because this isn't the first purchase that this buyer has made with like all Florida State alumni. In fact, this morning I was putting together, I had a stack of football and I'm flipping through it and there's a guy in a Florida State uniform. I'm like, hey, I'll put this in my, instead of the quarter box, I'll put this in my eBay store. So those trends that you pick up when you get multi-card orders, take a look. What are they buying? Are they, maybe it's just, it could be a one-off, but maybe not. Once you start seeing trends like, hey, I've got a lot of buyers that buy Orioles cards. So I'm always on the lookout for Orioles. Now I'll be looking for Florida State Seminoles. What other, you just pick up on these trends that you have these repeat buyers that are looking for, maybe it's their favorite college, maybe it's a favorite player, a team. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I know I have customers for this. Boom, put it in the eBay store. And I think Shane has something going with Topps Chrome Heritage. Philly Joe, good morning. Let's go. New name that player. Fresh scoreboard today. A fresh scoreboard. Kyle, good morning. Any more big pallet finds? Nothing big. Just a bunch of quarter box stuff, basically bulk and quarter box stuff. I don't think anything really, I guess I did set some stuff aside, like eBay stuff. But you know, I don't think there was anything over $5. Donald Davis, good morning. He's home sick today. That sucks. That does suck. Getting sick around the holidays. When I was in school, I always hated getting sick on like Christmas vacation, because you want to be sick during school. At least I did. I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to stay home and watch Matlock and In the Heat of the Night. But then at noon, TV sucked when you only have 4 channels, unless it was March Madness. Ooh, that was fun. 4th grade was pretty great though, even though I had the chicken pox, but I got the chicken pox in just like the second week of December. And I had to miss like 8 days of, which is like 2 weeks. I had to miss like 2 weeks of school, like almost 2 full weeks. And, I went in and I had to go in to see the nurse before they would like allow me back in. They had to clear me. And, I went in on like a Thursday before, Christmas break. So it was basically however the calendar fell that year. Friday was the last day, and it was like it was like Christmas party day. You get out early and boom, you're on Christmas break. So I think it was either like Wednesday or Thursday. My mom took me in to see the nurse, and the nurse is like, oh no, you still have, whatever. I can't remember, but she's like, better stay one more day. And I'm like, so then like the next day, say it was Thursday, the next day was Friday. It was like freaking vacation day. Like you go in, you eat candy and cookies all day, watch Christmas Vacation, and get out early at 1:00. It was like the best Christmas ever. That was also 4th grade, was also the Christmas I got my first hobby box, 1991 Upper Deck Football. I got the VHS Home Alone. I got the cassette tape, the Black Album by Metallica on cassette tape. What else? That was like the best Christmas ever. So yeah, got the chicken pox, but I got released by the nurse just in time for watching Christmas Vacation, which I was thinking about this. I had it on the other night, and like we were watching Christmas Vacation in like, when did it come out? 89. So Actually, 91 probably would have been when it was like released on 90, I guess. So it was still a fairly new Christmas. Can you believe the man? That's how long ago it was. But we were like watching Christmas Vacation in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, and it's like, this is kind of like I don't think that would fly today. I don't think schools would allow Christmas Vacation to be shown to 4th and 5th graders. But 1991 was a different time. Hey, if you're of my age, we turned out okay watching Christmas Vacation in 4th grade. We turned out okay. Now you've got to protect everybody. Don't let them watch. Don't let them hear a bad word. Hey, speaking of bad words, I'll be right back. Ooh, little sore. I got a box from Red Light 34. It came in the mail yesterday. So Red Light 34. I don't know if he's in the chat yet, but he got me something. So when I drop the F word, I've got an F-bomb. Check that out. Isn't that cool? Thank you, Red Light 34. Merry Christmas. My own F-bomb. So I'll have to put that behind me so you can see it. The F-bomb. We got to protect our children from the F-bombs. Where are we at? Philly Joe congratulates Shane. Woke up to someone buying my Philly Fanatic auto card. Happy but sad. Hall of Fame card collector Mikey's here. Good morning. Thank you, Craig, for the Nolan Ryan baseball you gave me. I really appreciate it so much. Very cool. That happened on the Couch People Christmas party. You can go watch that in replay. Good morning, Flawed Thinker. Running Buck Woodcraft. Good morning. Have really enjoyed all the Car Dealer Pro content this week. Thanks for all of that. You are welcome. And thank you. The back is feeling a little sore, a little slow this morning, but much better than, at least I can move today as opposed to yesterday. So Car Dealer Pro 2.0. I'm hearing less and less complaints over the last 24 hours than than release day, which, and we mentioned it with Ted and Alex on the show the other day. I hated it at the start. Now, I also hated it because it literally didn't work when the very first test that I ran on it, which would have been probably 6 weeks ago. Like, it just didn't work. It works now. It's just, you have to kind of figure out how to correctly use it. There's a learning curve, but there's also a learning curve when you first started using Car Dealer Pro 1.0. So I've had several messages. People are, hey, it works now because I had this setting or that setting. So for the most part, sounds like everybody is getting used to it. People are still saying, I want to go back to one. I don't know why you would want to go back to 1.0 because I haven't really unleashed my inventory because of the Goodwill palette. I haven't really been using it. I've listed basically over the last week. I started testing the live version, what we see now. I started testing that over the weekend, and so I've done several batches. But I'm building with the Goodwill palette. It gives me a fresh start with fresh inventory. And so I'm sorting 75 to 100 cards, putting them in tabs, and then I'm just going to get ahead one day. I don't know if it's going to happen. Probably won't happen until maybe after the new year, when I can really set aside a whole day, because I've got Christmas coming up, and then I've got the Madison Card Show next Saturday. So the next 8 days are going to be really busy. So it might be the new year when I really go to town. So I want to see how many cards I can get listed, because I know it's much faster. I mean, just the speed alone plus the accuracy is going to make things so much better. Max is not a fan of Jim Cramer. I love Jim Cramer. I'm not saying I love his advice. I just like his personality. And he works well with David Faber and Carl Quintanilla. Instead of name that player, you should call out a Bitcoin value, and then we have to guess which day of 2023 it hit that value. That's good. Today's Name That Player may be a little closer to that version than our old version. So, Brian, good morning. Heating pads and ibuprofen more important than the polio vaccine. Happy Friday. Zach says, do the dang yoga video I sent you. Your methods were Band-Aids and not fixing the root of the problem. Be a better friend to yourself. And I know, like my wife said, take some ibuprofen. And that's just going to that's just masking the pain. Like, there's still the underlying issue. Like, I can't take ibuprofen, for the rest of my life. I guess I could, but then once you start taking it regularly, it stops working. And then that becomes the new norm. So you are correct. I did do a lot of stretches. I didn't watch the video. I'm sorry, didn't watch the video, but I did do some stretches that the chiropractor told me like several years ago when I went in and did the thrusts. Christian, what's up? Good morning. Zach says Max is correct. Jeremy says all Cubs fans feel like we've had a body cavity search this offseason. Here, the thing is, speaking of that, how about Yamamoto going to the Dodgers? Did you hear that this morning? Holy shit. What the fuck? What the F-bomb, man? The Dodgers have spent over $1 billion with a B dollars on 2 players. One who's never played in Major League Baseball and he's a pitcher. And the other may never pitch again. $1 billion with a B. Yamamoto, 325 million. And I saw that. It's like, oh, I don't feel bad as a Cubs fan. Shohei Ohtani, I don't feel bad. 700 million. Yeah, it's deferred, but there's still most of the top free agents are still left. They're falling one by one. There's going to be a point in time where it's like there's still somebody out there. James says, yesterday at the post office, some D-bag was freaking out because he had to wait in line almost head-to-head, but a 60-year-old man. That's this time of year at the post office, man. It's people get crusty. Mark Marinello, what's up? Good morning. Like the New York media said, Yamamoto to the Mets or Yankees. As soon as Hollywood signed Ohtani, Yamamoto wasn't too far behind. He played both New York teams like a fiddle, just like Ohtani played every team not named the Dodgers a fiddle. Tracy's in the house. Good morning. Justin, what's up? The itch to rip is far better than some other itches. That's true. That's true. Dodgers still aren't winning the World Series, says Mikey. They'll probably win 120 games and then lose in the NLCS. That's my prediction. Talking Tatis says, my pleasure to Mikey. Let's see. We talked about that. Donald says, smash the like button. Thank you, sir. Mark, good morning. Harlan, good morning. Grinding for good morning. Hello, Orlando. Bob is in the house. First time catching you live. Kept hearing Flipping Sports Guy mention you and watch some archives the past week. Bob, welcome. Thank you. And thank you, Flipping Sports Guy, for the mention. Appreciate it. Mark, good morning. Shane says, thanks, Philly Joe, and nice sale yourself. The only cards I'm attached to that I will never sell are my first edition Pokemon cards and my heritage I inherited. That way I don't have a happy, sad feeling. I get it. And I'm approaching that point where I'm going to be selling some Cubs duplicates where I don't think I'm going to have a sad feeling because I'll still have, I'm not going to sell unique cards. I'm not going to sell my Ernie Banks rookie. I'm not going to sell my Alexander Canario Superfractor. But I have 7 Justin Steele first chrome autos. I'll move some of those. So I'm kind of geeked up for when I get organized, and who knows when that will be, but I'm getting excited for it. Zach says, smart strategy. You should stock up on Blue Jay cards just in case a trade offer falls in your lap. Bring that positivity in 2024. Nothing like getting sick during March Madness when I was in school. I think I was in when the first time I was sick legitimately for March Madness. it might have been fourth grade, maybe fifth grade, third grade, fourth grade. It was like grade school. And there's like basketball on at like noon. I'm like, this is great. I can watch Matlock and in the heat of the night straight into basketball. This is amazing. This is the best thing ever. And then I just happened to get sick every year around the second week of March on a Thursday and Friday. I don't feel well on Thursday. Oh, I'm still not feeling. Better stay home again. My mom is kind of naive, and I could fake sick pretty easily. I think once I got into high school, though, either she wised up to it or I just lost my touch. I was a convincing little shithead grade school, junior high kid, but once I got to high school, either mom wisened up or I got loose and screwed up my act. Justin says, I'm not sure Christmas Vacation would pass the litany of PC tests to be allowed in schools. No. I could not imagine being a parent or a teacher in today's world. That's all I'll say on that. That's all I'll say on that. Max says Billy Ripken incoming. Shane says schools probably won't even show Bambi these days since the artist stops drawing the deer. Yeah, it's just insanity these days. The AI is awesome on CDP 2.0. Agree. Sports Illustrated for Kids is now recognized. It wasn't 100% when I did. I think I mentioned this yesterday. I did like 80 cards. It's hard to believe this is 80 cards because they're so thin, and I don't think I have anything to compare. But anyway, I think it identified correctly 70 or 75 of the 80, which is amazing because Card Dealer Pro 1.0 identified 0 of the 80. So, and somebody, Dan US Sports Cards told me yesterday that Topps Archives is now correctly identified in the Card Dealer Pro 2.0, which I haven't tried that out yet, but that'll make things a lot easier as well. Good morning, Tom. 3 more weeks before going back to work. So I have 3 more weeks of eBay work and name that player. Well, I'm glad you're still around, but it's a bummer that you're still on the mend, but I'm glad to have you. Talking Tati says, I'm starting to really like CDP 2.0. It's like getting a new girlfriend whose bra now opens in the front. A little different, but an improvement when you figure out the twist. Right. It's like road construction, which I like your analogy much better than road construction. But it's like road construction. We bitch and moan about road construction. But at the end of the day, like just outside my house, we've had to drive around the neighborhood. We can't go this way. We can't. Now we can. It's one way. We can't go back the way we came. This lane. It's a pain in the ass. But when it's all said and done, because every day when we drove on that road, Pleasant View Road, Middleton, and I used to take it to work when I worked in the office. Like I took it for 7 years. And it's like, God, this road sucks. It's only 2 lanes. It sucks. We need this to have 4 lanes, but we're not patient to work through the kinks. That's just general human behavior. So they're working through the kinks and they're expanding. And once they get finished, it's going to be like night. It's like, we're going to say, I can't believe this was only a 2-lane road and with potholes. And now it's so much better, but you have to sometimes, that's how you have to handle Card Dealer Pro 2.0. There's going to be some kinks. You work around them. Max says Kramer reminds me of Whatnot Breakers, just annoying as all hell. And see that he's not like I remember the Jim Kramer. It's hard for me to the now Jim Kramer, the present Jim Kramer, at least from what I watch him, isn't like Mad Money. It was like, he's screaming and like, oh my God, he's going to have a heart attack right on live TV. Like he's very calm. He's very calm today, at least at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. when I'm watching Squawk on the Street. But yeah. And there's also, they have a disclaimer when they go to commercial, like the views of Jim Kramer are not those of CNBC or its affiliates, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, they have to have as with any financial advice, all that legal mumbo jumbo. Neil, what's happening? Good morning. Everyone hates the Dodgers now, right? Well, I always hated the Dodgers. Or do they have to win before we have disdain? Oh, you can hate them now. I've hated them. Where's my buddy Cooter at? He's hated them for his entire life. I never knew the disdain for I never knew the disdain for each other of Los Angeles and San Francisco until I went the first time when I went to San Francisco for my buddy's wedding, and it was Lakers Celtics in the NBA Finals. So this is what, like 2009, 2010. And I was in San Jose, California. It was called the bar was called Dive Bar. And I told the bartender, I'm like, this is pretty nice, because like dive bar where I'm from, it's like dirt floors, baby. And I told the bartender, I'm like, this isn't a dive bar. And she's like, well, that's kind of the iron. It's like irony. I'm like, oh, gotcha. Okay, got it. So anyway, Lakers Celtics on the TV, and a lot of basketball fans and people around me, and they're like, so who you? And I'm assuming I'm in California. People are like, Boston? You don't want Boston to win. We're in California, dude. I'm like, fuck the Lakers. Go Celtics. And I'm like, what? Really? They're like, fuck LA. I should put that out before I say the F-bomb. Thank you, Red Light 34, for the F-bomb. So, yeah. And then when I went out to LA for the last company I worked for, we had like an orientation out there at corporate. And this time it was Giants, and it might have been Giants Dodgers. And my God, we had it was a sales. We were all sales guys. And two of the guys from the San Francisco office were just absolutely hated the Dodgers and everything LA. Like, I thought we were going to get murdered at one of the bars because they talked so much shit about Los Angeles. Now I've hated the Dodgers for, 10 years because they're good. We hate the good teams. I'm a Cubs fan. The Dodgers are good. They beat us, 2017. They knocked us out in the NLCS. So hate the Dodgers. So yeah, we hate the Dodgers, and now we just hate people that spend a lot of money. And the Dodgers, they're the new Yankees. The Yankees are like, we don't care about the Yankees because they're not spending a billion with a B on two players. Which, hey, more power to them. Like, I just hate the Dodgers in general. I don't care that they spent good. They spent $1 billion. Good. Keep spending money. I don't give a shit. It's your money. I don't care. Now, I don't want the Cubs to spend $1 billion because I know the ramifications. I know how much my beer is going to cost. It's already $13. They spent $1 billion, it'd be $33. The bleacher tickets, they're already expensive enough. You can't walk up. Well, it's not 1982 anymore. Tickets go up, beer goes up, hot dogs go, everything goes up. Plus, from what we've seen in this ownership with the Ricketts, once they put that money down, they're like locked in, man. It's not like the Dodgers where they spend money and keep spending money. The Cubs will spend money and hope it works out. Because if it doesn't work out, even if it does work out or it doesn't work out, that's the money we're spending. So here we are. Fuck the Dodgers. Oh, F-bomb. Sorry. So yeah, we hate the Dodgers. Dan's in the house. What's going on, Dan? Dan finally figured out my glitch. It was just related to the eBay returns fields. Did 500 cards last night. So I'm curious, you did 500 cards last night. Do you know how many cards you would have done in that same period of time using the old version of Card Dealer Pro? Like, once you figured it out, what's the difference? Because I haven't really tested that, because I haven't like sat down to do like a listing day. Like, I've just been testing it, running batches, seeing what's been identified. Now I'm ready to go. And so probably within the next 2 weeks, at some point, closer to 2 weeks, I'll have a day where I just sit down and try to hum out 1,000 in a day, see how long it takes. Let's see. Because he's on coffee, not Coke. There you go. If people are having an issue uploading, the key is you have to use full refund, buyer pays, and that seems to be the hurdle. Uploading an AI recognition, crazy good and very recent in my opinion, thanks to CD. Yeah. So, and it sounds like a couple people that I've taught that have once they figure out what's going on, it sounds like it's that returns issue. So, there you go. Uncle Rich, what's up? Good morning. 250 like percent. Chris Morrell would be proud. Hey, that's like 50 points higher than Kyle Schwarber. Let's see. Max says LA much better than San Francisco, though city people-wise, not close there. I love, from a city standpoint, I prefer San Francisco. The homeless in San Francisco is a bit much, though. I don't like the homeless situation in San. There's too many panhandlers and homeless people chasing you down for money. But as far as like, I don't know, LA is just too fast. It's too fast for me in LA. Huddle Card Collection, what's going on? He says very disappointing MLB news last night. Yamamoto, 325 milli going to LA. Our money pot has a bottom. Yes, it does. Talking Tatis says, I will be very happy when they have a larger image to work off of when manually updating unrecognized cards. CDP will resolve, I'm sure. And I think that's something they mentioned the other day is they are possibly. I can't remember. The new version of Cardi the Pro is much easier to use, especially for finding cards and fixing errors. I agree with that. It's just getting used to it. I think the biggest issue people are running into is it's change. And I understand it messes with your efficiencies, and like you're using something and all of a sudden it changes for the better, but it's still a change and you have to slow things down and you're not doing it at the speed. But just like road construction, once you get things figured out, that those hurdles in the middle, the end results way makes up for, the slowdown you incur for a couple days. Let's see. Huddle Card says buyer pays for returns. I will have to change that. If yours isn't working, if yours is working okay, you can probably keep it as it is. But if it's not working, that could be your issue. Dan says, I would say still not as efficient as I was on the old model, but I had a lot of switching I needed to do. I ran Topps Archives through it and had about an 80% hit rate, which is great. Yeah, because the old version was 0%. So that's a good deal. Jordan, what's up? Nice 1990 Donruss sales. Would you ever buy those in bulk again? No, absolutely not. So I shared a tweet yesterday. I made some sales on 90 Donruss, a couple 89 Donruss. Now, disclaimer, I would not recommend going out and buying 89 and 90 Donruss and putting it on eBay for $1.75 free shipping. But if you acquire a bulk and it's just sitting there, like a lot, like I'm not seeking out some of this stuff. Like in my pallets, like there's probably going to be some, actually, I know for a fact, as I was putting stuff in my eBay pile, there's some 88 and 89 Topps that will be going on to eBay. It's either that or a quarter box. And so, in some cases there were multiples of the cards. So it's like, well, I'm going to put one on eBay. I'll put one in the quarter box. So I don't recommend buying junk wax at a penny or a fraction of a penny, because some of those cards might have been in my inventory for several months, maybe a year or more. So yes, it eventually some of the stuff sells, some of it won't, but you can't predict. I mean, can you predict somebody coming in and buying 10 1990 Donruss cards? No, you can't predict that. And once you do, well, if they bought, that's sometimes what you run into. It's like, well, they bought all this. This one person bought this, so I'm going to list this. And then it sits and sits. So a lot of it's trial and error. Let's see. Dan says, but my internet isn't the fastest when it comes to navigating the searchable investigation screens to make changes. Max says, checks out though. You enjoy living in Madison, so also would like San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle. Probably. I've never really spent time in Seattle or Portland. I've driven through both, and I've been to both airports. That's it. So I haven't truly spent any time in Portland or Seattle, but I love Madison. Let's see. Talking Tati says, yes, buyer pays for returns. That also helps discourage bogus returns. Dan says, you must not be keeping up with LA. It's homeless is pretty bad too. I mean, if I was homeless, I'd try to get to California too. Like, and that's like San Francisco, like, man, hitchhike down to LA. I mean, hitchhike, you probably can't hitchhike anymore, but like it's only 6 hours. I mean, I guess if you walk, it's going to take a while, but you're homeless. What else are you going to do? Am I going to go to hell for saying that? But I mean, shit, hit the beach, man. San Francisco, it's rains a lot. It's cold. Or even shit, if you go an hour into the valley, man, although it might get too hot. Maybe you're comfortable with the 50-degree weather. I don't know. Rich says we have a homeless problem. Surprisingly, we have a homeless issue in Madison, Wisconsin. So I think it's just kind of a national issue. But yeah, you walk down, especially where State Street meets like the square. It's like a freaking homeless camp. It's like sucks. Let's see. Rich says there are all sorts of hidden variations in those overproduced Donruss years, and sometimes those sell. Like I'll list the ink dots or no ink dots, and some sit, and then all of a sudden somebody buys 10 of them. It's like, hey, that's a nice $20 sale. Patterns in 91 Donruss, some 90 and 89 and 88 things as well. Max says it's at this point it's their fault, but the economy is doing great. There you go. All right, so that's what I had for today. Let's play Name That Player. We're going to start a new scoreboard for Name That Player today. And here's the thing. It's not going to be baseball today. It's not going to be football today. It's not going to be basketball. It's not even going to be sports today. What the hell are we doing? So this is why we're going to wait until the end, okay? So I don't want you to vote now. Save your vote until the end. Good morning, Card Hobbyist. Just in time for Name That Player. So we're going to play Name That Player. Max won the last round. So we're going to start a new scoreboard. But we're going to do things a little differently because this is a set or a bunch of cards that I found in my Goodwill palette. And I'm like, you know what? This is it's not baseball. So it's not, I know some people are specialists with 87 to 92. Some people are special with modern. Some people are special with vintage. So this is just not even baseball. You've got to know your pop culture. It is I'm going to show you because Peter Frampton is not a part of it. So we're going to do from the Hollywood set from 1991. All right. So at the end, we'll take a vote to see if the scores count. All right. So if some people say, oh, this isn't fair, this isn't Name That Player, this is Name That freaking 1980s actor. So we'll take a vote. You decide at the end, if you want the scores to count. Okay. So let me refresh the scoreboard. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to refresh. So we're going to actually, I'm going to flash these on the screen. Just so these are done. So we're done. Max won with 52 points. Flawed Thinker finished in second. We had a tie for third place, a three-way tie. Scotty Dubs, the Card Hobbyist, and Tom Gibson all finished in third. Terry McDaniel finished in sixth place. We had a tie for seventh place between Harlan and Uncle Rich. We had a tie for ninth place between Philly Joe and the Flipping Sports Guy. And then 10th on down, we had SoCal Guy, 67 with 5 points. The Value Box Digger and Minneapolis Kid had 4. Ken, Merle, Peter, and Mark, the four horsemen, all had 3 points each. John Maybe had 2. And then with 1 point apiece, we had Diego, Brian, Grinding for Good, TD Sports Cards, Mikey, that dude from Duryea, and Bronco. So those were the scores from the last round. Now we start from scratch. We're going to wipe that clean, baby. All right. Here we go. Name that player scores. We're blank. We have a clean slate, and we're playing with the Hollywood set. All right. Before we start, though, let's see some comments. Where we at? Let's see. Let's go back up to Shane's comment. He says, I have a relatively small inventory. I do run out of good stuff to post every once in a while. And one day I decided I'm going to post base cards of Allure Hockey since I had nothing else. I don't have a feed scanner and ended up selling a ton of them and still selling. Never thought I would sell that many, but it was worth the time. Very nice. That's cool. Card Hobbyist says, vote for Pedro. Rich says, oh my goodness, interesting concept. Mark Marinello, on the other hand, says, yikes, early 90s pop culture. Now, this isn't all early 90s, man. Put your YouTube on as well. Yep, I have my, oh, wait, I do not have my YouTube on. View channel, free for all Friday. Oh, I'm going to by the way, I'm going to hit the like button. You should too. 18 likes. Okay, live chat is up on the YouTube. Grinding for Good says, yes, count. Might be the only chance of getting on the board ever again. Harlan says, yay, top 10. Card Hobbyist says, I beat Rich. I feel bona fide. Rich says, Mark, you popped into my dreams. Ooh, where's this going? As I thought I'd be going out at the Garfield show and having a cup of coffee. Mark says, you're always welcome, Richie. All righty, let's play Name That Pop Culture Icon. Let me get this. This is a fun set. This actually, you know what? I've already given a hint. Never did I think me having chicken pox in 4th grade would lead to a clue on Name That Player. But it did. Were you ever homesick from school and watched this guy? There he is. I'll take Matlock. Yes, Matlock is correct. I'll take Andy Griffith. First on the board was Matlock. John's Mini Collections, Harlan with the point. Oh, and Harlan actually named both. Wow, he got in fast enough. Harlan was fast enough to name both character and actor. Character and actor. Okay, for the next one, I will also do the same. Let's get Harlan on the board. Let's see. All right, so we've got Harlan. All right, so again, where are we at? Okay, so on this one, Max says scores don't count. Oh, your vote doesn't count. Not yet, at least. We'll take a vote at the end of the at the end of the game. We'll take a vote. So this one will also, we will accept character or actor. Character or actor. All right, we got two answers in. Flipping Sports Guy was the first one on my screen. Pee Wee Herman, yes. Paul Rubens would also have been an acceptable answer. So who was first? We said Flipping Sports Guy. Pee Wee, we will take Pee Wee. All right, so I almost typed in Pee Wee. Okay, Flipping Sports Guy. Some people, so if before we move on, I see a couple people said answers were up before I saw the card. Hit refresh. So I will, where did I put Matlock? Oh, Matlock fell on the floor. So hit your refresh right now, and I'll give you a second. Huddle Card says the same thing. So if you are getting a delay on seeing them, hit refresh. Max says refresh doesn't even help. I've tried a couple times. Okay, then call Verizon. Call Verizon or TDS and get faster internet. Okay, here we go. Who's this guy? Harlan. Harlan got it just ahead of Rich. Just ahead of Rich. Ed McMahon. Hi-oh. All right. Harlan takes the lead. I think we know Harlan will want to count today's scores. Flipping Sports Guy will probably want today's scores. Max is grumpy. He doesn't want to count today's scores. Victor says, my internet too slow. So we know who has the fastest internet. Harlan has fast internet. Rich has fast internet. And Flipping Sports Guy has fast internet. I think Rich has come in second place on each of these. All right. We have a lady. Who's this lady? This actually may be the first woman to appear on Name That Player. Flipping Sports Guy says we've counted the random 1991 Pro Set type weeks. So yeah, of course, count it. I agree. I'm with you, Flipping Sports Guy. All right, so let me go to my YouTube and see. Rivers is correct. Huddle Card, yes. Huddle Card Collection. The refresh must have worked for him. Huddle Card Collection has a point. All righty, let's put him on the board. Joan Rivers. Oh, this next one's fun. I think these are all fun. Orlando says his internet is fast, but he's just slow. All right, next up. Who is this guy? How was that terrible impersonation? Should we take, Tom Gibson says will. So I want to leave it up to you guys. Should we accept will? I don't know, Tom. I don't know if we should accept will. Reggie Nelson says no. I'm with you. This is not a 90s photo. This is probably a 1970s photo of William Shatner. I think we're going to give this one to who was after Tom. Huddle Card Collection. Huddle Card Collection. We're going to give you the point. So he's got 2 points for Huddle Card Collection. All right, and there we go. So Harlan and Huddle Card, you are tied in the lead. I agree. Will too general. Mark thought it was Tom Jones. It kind of does look like Tom Jones. You know, Tom Jones is in this set. I don't think he's in our game. Actually, no, he's not in our game. He's not. All right. Oh, this is a good one. You probably don't recognize him in this photo. Not Bill Nye. The answers aren't coming as fast on this one. Not Casey Kasem. Robert Stack is correct. Harlan. Oh, I put the wrong. Harlan was first. Flipping Sports Guy was just behind him. Robert Stack. Unsolved Mysteries. I'm not sure what this would have been from. Let's see. His career highlights. Oh, I bet this was from Falcon Crest or Strike Force. He was in Falcon Crest in 1987, Strike Force in 81, 82. So I'm guessing this is either Strike Force or Falcon Crest. Robert Stack. All right, so Harlan with the point. And you have taken the lead with 3 points. Mark says 1980s cheesy cop show. Max showing his age. You've never heard of Unsolved Mysteries? Man, growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s, just as soon as the music hit for Unsolved Mysteries, you wanted to go hide under the bed. It was scary. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Robert Stack hosted Unsolved Mysteries. Johnny Cash is correct. And Uncle Rich is the fastest fingers. Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash. Uncle Rich on the board. All right. Okay, so this one, this is going to be a tough one. I have faith that at least one person will get this. This is, all I'm going to say is this is timely. This is timely. This is timely. Christmas time. Red Light 34. Hey, I got your box yesterday. Thank you for the F-bomb. I've been using it today. Mark Marinello. Yes. The Andrews Sisters. They did, what was it? Walking in a Winter Wonderland? Yes, Winter Wonderland. So when you've probably heard the Andrews Sisters at some point over the last month. The Andrews Sisters. Mark Marinello, you are on the board. Mark. All right. I knew somebody would get that. Oh, and Huddle Card Collection was also in there. He says it pays to be middle-aged. All right. You don't have to be psychic to know this woman. Yes, Dionne Warwick. Card Hobbyist is on the board. Card Hobbyist. Dionne Warwick. Some of our elders in the chat probably know her more from singing, but myself growing up in the 90s, I know her from the Psychic Friends commercials as I'm watching Matlock reruns when I'm homesick from school. Who got that? Card Hobbyist with the point. Oh, and one. All right. Rich knows Dionne Warwick more from singing. Reggie says we have to count this as this is ridiculous. Oh. If you don't count the Andrews Sisters, just go ahead and cancel Christmas. All right. Here's another one that I know him. I know this actor differently than some of our elders. Carl Weathers, a good guess. Not correct. It is LeVar Burton. I will take Reading Rainbow. I would take Reading Rainbow, but I don't think you were the first. Oh, ooh, I think you were. Max. I'm going to give Max the point for Reading Rainbow. That's how I know LeVar Burton. LeVar Burton, Reading Rainbow. This is an old picture of him. This is from many of you. He was in there's a movie called The Ron LaFleur Story, 1978. Has anybody seen Mark Rich, Card Hobbyist? Have you seen the Ron LaFleur story from 1978 LeVar Burton was in? Here's the rabbit hole. I got to go to YouTube and see if it's on YouTube. Ron LaFleur story. 1 in a million. The Ron LaFleur story. LeVar Burton from prison to the big leagues. It is on YouTube. It was a made-for-TV movie. So just type in Ron LaFleur story on YouTube, and you will find it. You can watch it for free on YouTube. I'm going to watch it. Ron LaFleur story. Very cool. So we're going to give Max the point for reading Rainbow. That's how I know LeVar Burton. Was he in Roots? Yes. Looks like that's when Kunta Kinte. That was his, probably, besides reading Rainbow, his most known. Oops. There we go. Max. All right. So has anybody seen Ron LaFleur story, the movie? Rich says, I remember that movie. It was a made-for-TV movie. Christian has seen the Ron LaFleur story. Many former Tigers are in it. Oh, very cool. Cooter saw the movie, went and found his card after watching. Awesome. Oh, yeah, he was on Star Trek also. All right, next up. Everybody should, actually, the next 2 out of 3, everybody should know. And this card's actually probably worth something on eBay. I'm going to have to check this out. Who's this sweet lady? Betty White. I'll take White. I'll take Betty. I'll take either. And Card Hobbyist was the first one. Betty White. I miss Betty already. Where are we at? So Card Hobbyist with 2 points. Card Hobbyist. So he moves up in a tie with Huddle Card Collection. This is fun. I wish there was actually, you know what? There probably is maybe since we're starting, maybe we just do more pop culture stuff, and I'll try to bring in some like Panini Americana, because I think I've got a bunch of those. Because this is more fun. This is more fun than 1989 Topps, in my opinion. At least I'm having more fun. Hopefully you are too. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay. We have 2 left. Betty White had a home in Wisconsin. Where at? Mark says 70s WWF. Yeah, maybe we'll just do random. Like we'll do, and we can mix in baseball. We can mix in baseball cards. We can mix in Topps Heritage Jordan Romano next to Betty White. I think this is fun. Reggie says Don Knotts. I'm getting my guess in early to have a chance. I think he's in this set, but he's not one of the last 2. So we have 2 left. Let's see. We had a real easy one. So this is if you're of a certain age, this will be super easy. I'll save the best for last. Let's see. Kasem is correct. Who was the first? Oh, I gotta scroll. Okay, Kasem. Huddle Card Collection. Casey Kasem, which I believe was guest earlier on another one, on another card. All right, so let's go to the scoreboard. Huddle Card. Huddle Card and Harlan, 3 points each. All right, we're down to the last card. And this is an easy one. This is an easy one. Here you go. Who's this guy? Have your pet spayed or neutered. All right, we've got guesses rolling in. Barker, Card Hobbyist. Card Hobbyist was the fastest. Bob Barker. All right. Let's see. So Card Hobbyist. So we had a three-way tie today, and guess what? We're not even going to take a vote. We're counting these scores, folks. That was too much fun. So we are counting the scores. They stick. And I think today was a great way to start the new scoring period with the Hollywood set. That was fun. I think we're going to do kind of an iteration of this each week going forward. It's not going to be all 1991 Hollywood, but I'll mix it in, and we'll mix in some wrestling. We'll mix in some baseball and football and Panini Americana when I find it. So this was fun. This was more fun than a pack of 1989 tops. So this was more fun. Hopefully you agree. So Harlan, Huddle Card Collection, and Card Hobbyist in a three-way tie for first place in our new scoring period with 3 points. Flipping Sports Guy, Rich, Mark, and Max with 1 point. Cooter says mix in earth-moving equipment. I do have some Caterpillar cards. I do have some Caterpillar earth-moving cards. I think I still have a pack. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Mario says Betty White had a home in Mineral Point. Oh, wow. That's pretty neat. Mineral Point, not too far from here. Let's see. Mikey says, what are your thoughts on me doing breaks on Whatnot? Would you guys be interested in that? Or would you be more interested in having me do singles? I don't know if there's too many people in here that are big breakers. I only buy into certain, I'm very particular with the breaks I buy into based on product and Cubs. So I probably wouldn't be interested in breaks. I'm not sure if other people in here, they can answer. Let's see. Where are we at? Low Roller Scratcher. What's up, low roller scratcher? Let's see. Harlan says I'm for an all pop culture and 90s football. Name that player around. My only chance to win. Tom Gibson, thanks for joining and glad to have you for another week. Card Hobbyist likes the randomness. I do too. Max says don't count today. Too bad. Too bad, too sad. Today's scores count. Let's see. Mark says I should get 2 for the Andrews sisters. That was good. That was impressive. Let's see. Donald is not into Whatnot. Tom says there's a 90s country music card set. Yes, I have some of those also that I know what to do well at. Hey, speaking of that, Billy Ray Cyrus is in that set. And I was watching, what the hell was I watching yesterday? I was watching something from, it was Saturday Night Live. And it was when when Achy Breaky Heart first came out. I think it was during Weekend Update. Kevin Nealon called him Billy Ray Cyrus because Cyrus can also be pronounced Cyrus. So I found that fun, like Billy Ray Cyrus. It's like, wow, that's certainly showing the date on that. Philly Joe says that was fun to watch. I'm too slow typing. Well, as long as you enjoyed it, that's all that matters. Hall of Fame card collector says now it's Mikey Sports Cards LLC on Whatnot. Grinding for Good said he blew his only chance. Mark has to open his store. Have a great day. Thanks, Mark. Reggie says Mark should get 3 for the Andrews sisters, 1 for each. There you go. Andrews sisters used to sing on Abbott and Costello movies. Hall of Fame card collector name will be my personal account. Okay. Alrighty. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll go live tomorrow, Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. So probably around 8:30 a.m. Central for a Saturday edition. We will go live on Christmas Eve morning. Same time, 8:30 a.m. Christmas Eve morning. No Hobby Evolution on Christmas Day, and likely not, at least not a morning edition on the day after Christmas. I might go on later in the day just to kind of recap the holiday. But my mom will still be here in the morning. She'll stay Christmas Eve and Christmas night. So maybe after she leaves, I'll come down and pop on, do a quick live. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.